Hey, which way, which way? Let's pack this into my intro. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to go for a bit of a lot of approach and sort of a different sort of direction in relation to what we talk about and how we're talking about it. We're going to steer a little bit away from my story.
Yeah, give everyone the opportunity to get to know
who
us.
we are. Yeah, who we are before we just... Yeah, we should have probably done this one at the start, but so I suppose no way you're going to swim unless you jump in the deep end, I suppose.
I mean, I think we had to go in with the heavy stuff first to capture everyone's attention.
Yeah, and it definitely did. We had such a good feedback through social media and people, even like, when we're leaving the gym, pulling us up and saying about our podcast. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's listening and and everyone who's sharing it, and it's definitely helped to finally get a message out there, and we can only keep building from here. Today we'll probably we'll touch briefly on again on that podcast how it finished. It was a pretty heavy topic, and the response we got back was...
Do you think we got more of a response from the last podcast than we did the first one?
Yeah, definitely, because
More
it's
people reaching out.
obviously people who know me and who have known me through my life were very shocked. So it was a great opportunity for me to tell people why I was like I was, or what made me be me. It was, like I said, it was a very heavy topic, but the support we got was it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Most of it was pretty good, and
I suppose the week that has been pretty...
oh man, what a week!
Pretty interesting, but I would say the choices I made throughout my life definitely played a part in the week that's been. In relation to what happened to me as a child, obviously affected me growing up through my adolescent years and obviously into my adult years.
Why was that? Because you were angry, or
angry. Obviously got me in a lot of trouble with crime, a lot, which we will touch on in a different podcast. But it's something a bit more lighthearted and probably a feel-good podcast, because for the first time, the first time in my adult life, I have no more charges pending. I have no more anything to do with the police. So it's a very surreal feeling, and I'm very grateful for the people that supported me, especially when it seemed like I was losing my mind. It's so good now to be able to plan a life, because I'm not going to the place where I thought I was going to go.
I mean, how do you kind of share what happened this week without going into too much?
So what had happened, I was I caught a few charges about a year ago, and it's just been an ongoing thing. We can't touch on it too much because the subject will be very touchy and could ultimately lead me to get more charges. So
I've
just got to be very careful, and I apologise if I'm being vague, but it's only for my freedom and obviously for my family's benefit of me being home. So long story short is that I caught a few charges, actually quite a lot of charges, and they had finally come to a head, and I had worked a week at work and come home, and I had to face the music after a year,
Yeah.
Had to finally face the music, and we thought it was going to go. It did start to go pretty bad in the courtroom.
Yeah.
And then I was thrown a lifeline by the judge, which was just an incredible blessing.
It was intense because for a good majority of the time that we've been together, that's kind of been looming over
my head.
Yeah.
And our relationship.
Yeah.
And it hasn't allowed us to be able to plan anything, really.
But at the same time, it had allowed us to establish early on in our relationship whether we were all in or not.
Yeah,
we had to make that
definitely.
decision.
Definitely. There was even a time, in the courtroom that I had said to Ash that if you don't want to be with me, to get up and leave now, because
Yeah,
if I get locked up, don't leave me in there.
yeah,
But I suppose something like that we should probably, we should take a step back here. And in between the last podcast and court, we actually went up to Mackay.
yeah. That
And,
was such a brilliant weekend.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we touched on that. Did we touch on it a little bit in the last podcast? I think we did.
I don't know.
But yeah, we had a really, really good time in Mackay. I got to see my grandma, and it was actually really funny. We were out at the harbour, just having a few drinks with one of Ash's really good mates, and I'd gone up to get a drink, and my cousin walks in, who's back from Parramatta. He's down there playing for the NRL, and then one of my other mates from Blackwater, who comes in, stickers. His name's Cole, so sorry, Cole. He walks in, and then another one of my mates from Blackwater walks in as well. So
It was such a random afternoon.
It was a very, very random afternoon.
But it turned out to be a brilliant afternoon. Had a few drinks and then went down to the beach and just wash off.
And then me and you took Eli, which is my son, is Eli, and Ash's daughter is Zara. So me and Zara went for a swim up on the break wall and dived the break wall.
Yep.
And then you and Eli just paddled in the shallows.
Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. We went out over then to the cultural festival, the cultural food festival.
It was like a Polynesian food festival, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was Polynesian. There was heavily very Polynesian.
Yeah.
But yeah, the food was mad.
It was what's the word I'm looking for? Ironic that was on the same weekend that we went up to kind of connect with your family and.
Yeah, went and seen my grandfather has passed away now, and I've never been up there with my son, so I took my son out to the Warguston Cemetery and see my uncle and my grandfather. So it was pretty special, and my grandma hasn't seen me for 4 years, so
yeah,
it was pretty cool because I walked up to cruised at the place to there and walk up grandma's veranda, and she's like, "Hey, is that you, Reese?" It's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, come here." Stands up, big cuddle.
it was really cool.
Very cool embrace. But yeah, that was a well needed, and obviously something I'm learning as I get older now, and as I have sorted myself out, is that a lot of the energy you put out is a lot what you get back. So going up to Mackay and doing that was very, very cool. And actually we had a little incident on the day before court in the afternoon. We had picked Zara up from school and gone to go for a little full drive out.
That's right.
Behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And cruising up, done a little bit of full driving. It's normal, slow. And there's a couple of kangaroos bounced across the road, and there was a kangaroo just laying there on the road and obviously couldn't get up.
Been hit by a car.
Had been hit by a car, yeah. So very, very different for me.
Let's pick it up and take it home.
Yeah. Once upon a time I would have got out and took care of it myself, but now that I'm sort of getting older and I've got to be a bit of a role model, there was no needing to get a stick, so to speak. So yeah, we put her in the car with your daughter in the back seat, wrapped up in a towel.
Yeah, yep.
And now, mind you, this is a decent sized kangaroo. It took a bit to lift up.
Yeah. How much do you reckon it would have weighed?
30, 34, 30, 35 kilos.
Yeah.
She was pretty heavy. And
Put it on Zara's lap.
Yeah, put it on the lap, and
town.
I took it into town to the wildlife lady,
Yeah.
the rescue lady. And it's just uncanny how we get into town and get to this place and there's little joeys bouncing around everywhere in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ash's daughter was sort of in the element.
Yep. Mingling with the little baby joeys.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then we get to back to court. But yeah, so in the end, I got a very big lifeline from the judge. Now the prosecutions did not want me to leave that court at all. No. They were pretty firm. But the judge she was as good as a judge can be, I suppose. So yeah, you know, the life choices I had made prior to this, obviously, you know, it was my own fault I was there. I don't blame anyone for it, but you know, some people do the work of the devil to try and put you in a worse position, if we call that. Like I said, I've got to be very careful about what I say.
It's frustrating because you're trying to catch a break and make a change, and all this, you know, old stuff gets brought up. Do you find it feels like it's just like it's hard to catch a break, you know?
Yeah, definitely. You know, as many good things has happened as since we've been together, but also been a lot of negatives. But you know, I put a little post up on Facebook there the other day, and you know, it's you know, you find the, you know, the most gratitude that you have for everything, simple things, when you have such a you know, a lifeline or you know, an event that happens that you need, that you not need, that you do find gratitude.
It's kind of like that whole you don't know what you've got until it's gone. Or,
Yeah,
you know, at
yeah.
a very high risk of being taken away from you, it certainly makes you.
Yeah, you become very grateful.
Yeah.
So the next morning we sat outside and had a coffee like we usually do, and
The day after court.
yeah. So that was pretty magical, eh?
The contrast of emotions, though, like the morning prior to court, sitting and having that coffee, not knowing what the end of the day was going to look like.
Yeah, to the end of the
coming home by myself or not.
yeah. Well, it did look like that. It certainly looked like, even in court when I was getting my sentencing.
Yeah.
It was not a very good feeling.
But then sitting out there having a coffee the next morning.
Or that night when my sister even drove out from Rocky.
Oh yeah.
And we had a bit of a family gathering.
Yeah.
I was on one a nuisance, so to speak. Not drug related or anything, just happy and positive, but yeah, I have ADHD, so when I'm
when you're on one, as we say, it's like, from my perspective, the best way to explain it is there's just all this pent up energy that just needs to come out
and
really
I'm just a nuisance.
quickly.
I'm just a nuisance. By the end of the night, everyone's just shut the up.
Yep.
And but everyone, it was all good, and leaving out was really good. You know, probably one of the only negatives I had out of that day was, even the night before, was I tried to talk to my son, just, you know, through video, and me and his mum, and it's not in a great place at the moment, so that was a bit hard. You know, facing the fact of him might be getting put away and not being able to talk to him was pretty shit, I'd say.
Yeah.
But you know, positives, and you know, you can only look at positives now, and like, you know, like we were sitting outside that next morning and having a coffee. I said, we can now plan, you know, as far as, you know, analogy, we're looking out in the paddock, and for as far as I can see, you know, that's what we can plan.
Yeah. So far we've only been able to plan up until that court date, and now we can plan sort of, you know.
We can start to have a bit of a life now, eh?
Yeah. Yep. But like yesterday, you sort of mentioned to me that you haven't been able to do that because of everything, like all.
Yeah.
There's always been something pending, and so you mentioned yesterday that it's not a surreal feeling where you feel a bit lost. Or
yeah, I am. I was a bit lost to know that I have nothing with the police system. You know,
you've never had the opportunity to look that far, and now that you do, it's like, whew.
Yeah, I was a little bit lost. I was sort of like, yeah. I sort of reminds me of like on that movie Step Brothers, when they go in and ask their parents if they can you know, if they can build bunk beds.
Oh yeah.
And they go in and start just full, like, going hard out. But that's what it was, the feeling like. I'm like, oh, what are we gonna do here? Like,
yeah, we have to watch that movie tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, like we said, like, this is a bit of a lighter podcast, and more showing a bit of gratitude to each other, and you know, showing the world sort of who we are behind our heavy, like, you know, my heavy story, and Ash sort of being the director,
I feel like I'm always sitting here interrogating you, and now that we've got no notes and no questions, I feel a little bit lost. I must admit.
No, but it's easy because we know so much about each other because we have conversations, you know, off camera.
Yeah.
That we know everything about each other. Yeah. Literally, there's nothing we sort of don't know.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a good thing for, you know, we have a blended family. You know, Ash has got 2 daughters. I've got two sons, one I don't see, and you know, and one I do. So you know, we make it work for what we have and who we are, and you know, them seeing us in such a positive light is very good for them.
I'm just going down a bit of a rabbit hole, like when you say that, because we've kind of had to be really open and transparent about everything right from the very beginning, because we kind of met each other with lots of stuff going on. And that's kind of been one of the challenges that we've faced, is that we've kind of had to break the societal rules of how a relationship is supposed to go. Because of that, you know, and other people's opinions and that kind of stuff, on their perspective of how things should go, it's been a bit of a challenge for me, I must admit.
Yeah, and like just on that, I suppose, challenging for you is stems from what? Like, you know, do you want to give everyone a bit of a rundown about you? Like, you know, where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up?
Yeah, where did you grow up? For me, this is a bit funny because I know the answers, so...
I don't know. How far back do you want to go? Like, I was born in South Australia. My dad's a truck driver, so we just followed work around. But majority of my childhood was spent in Rockhampton. I did most of my...
You want to know North Rocky girls, eh?
I did 1 year at North Rocky.
Great school. Go the Hawks.
I'm not going to claim I'm a North Rocky girl.
No, I would. It's a great school.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's unreal. The lads that the boys used to coach from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good school.
And then moved out to Mara here and did most of my high school here.
That's where everything went wrong. No.
It's not that bad.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah. So then, from school, you finished school.
Dropped out of school.
Dropped out of school.
Dropped out of school in grade 12.
Why did you drop out of school?
So my parents separated on Valentine's Day.
What year would that have been?
2005.
Yeah.
And so I moved over to Billawheeler with my mum. Attempted to finish school in Billawheeler, but...
Is that the high school there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Started a school-based apprenticeship as a hairdresser, but because I had changed school in year 12, it was really difficult to, manage the emotions of my parents separating, plus...
Trying to be a boss as a teenager.
Yeah, all that teenage drama.
Yep.
And so, the school sort of gave me a bit of a hard time about stuff that I considered to be trivial. And I ended up just telling them to stick it in their backside, and I was quitting and ended up, dropping out of school and finishing my hairdressing apprenticeship.
Yep. You finished it all there in Pillow?
No. The last year of my hairdressing apprenticeship, I met my children's father.
Yep.
He was living in Mara, so I moved back to Mara to be with him and finish my hairdressing apprenticeship here in Mara.
Yep.
And
then, so we fast forward, skip a few things because they're really don't need to be talked about. We'll touch on it later in a different podcast, but magician never reveals the secrets, so not in all in one go. Skip 2. So back to the, breaking the stigma of our relationship, and that. Why was it difficult for you to sort of navigate through what people thought and more what you thought
of people's opinions?
Yeah. Why was it hard for you?
I think because some of the opinions that I were given were from people that I care about a lot.
Yeah.
And that makes it hard.
Yeah, definitely.
If it was coming from just, my clients or people I didn't really spend too much time with or care about their opinions, it'd be water off a duck's back. But because it come from people that I care deeply for, it hurt a little bit. But, I made a decision and I had to back myself. And
yeah. I think the thing too, like what sort of hurts you the most is that, it's not their opinion. It's, they see that you're happy and they still have an opinion that's negative. It's...
Sometimes I don't even know if it's their own opinion, though.
That's what
or if
society.
it's just a societal condition.
Yeah, but that should be something that's kept to themselves.
Yeah.
If they don't have something that's constructive for you, or positive towards you,
Yeah.
like even if it's your family, it's not. Your family should back you no matter what.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to support you anyway. Anyways, but yeah, I think societal, like that could be a whole other podcast talking about societal conditioning, the way people make choices and decisions based on not wanting to rock the boat or
not wanting to stand out.
or
It's more standing out. Like I even look at work. If we have such a big safety culture in the workforce, but ultimately, if you're the person who stands up all the time, you're the nail that sticks out.
Yeah.
So usually, what happens is, the old nail that sticks out is one that gets whacked on the head.
Yep.
And it's such a big thing, is that everyone is so conditioned to just fall into line and be the same as everyone else. And it's good for people making podcasts and people doing videos and things like that, because they're getting out of the what you have to do.
And I know, like, if we want to go down this rabbit hole in this podcast, I work in hairdressing. I study people. I love psychology and behaviour and all that sort of stuff. And I've read a lot of self-help books and watched a lot of gurus and all that kind of stuff. And I had to unsubscribe from it because it becomes destructive after a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflicting information.
Yeah, there really is. And at the end of the day, what I've learned is that you just have to tune into yourself, trust your intuition, make a decision, back yourself. If you mess up, own it.
Yeah, wear it, eh?
Yeah.
Just learn from it.
Yeah. There isn't any right or wrong way of doing it.
I think a lot of things too, like throughout, both my apprenticeships is you learn, especially like, I've done my second apprenticeship at mine. You work with so many different people that you can't just take one person's, like, this is how you do it.
Yep.
No, you learn so many different ways of different people. Like, it could be the same job, but you learn it all different ways. And you take a little bits from everyone and make it how you like it.
Yep.
And that's, I think, a big thing for people to understand, is that if you're like that just in everyday life, like, take a little bit of, like, what people say and, but only the positives, because if you take the negative, whatever everyone says, or, this isn't right or that isn't right, it becomes very, it can be a big burden on you, eh?
Actually, my sister said something to me quite profound. This was a couple of years ago. We had Christmas at her place, and she was making, I don't know, some alcoholic drink at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was giving her curry about it. And she said to me that we're all just unsupervised children with adult money. And I love that, because we all have this idea that as an adult we should know better and do better and get it right.
I think we should always try to do better, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we don't know everything.
No,
I've never been
you always
this age
be a
before.
student.
Yeah.
You're a student to life.
Exactly.
Life is the biggest teacher.
Yep.
And the only lessons you're going to learn is from life.
Yeah.
We try and teach, our kids that, we can steer you in the right direction, but ultimately it's going to be you who makes that decision. Once you make that decision, then you know that whether it's right or wrong.
But I think just removing the idea from my head that, because I'm an adult, I should know better, was kind of liberating. At the end of the day, we're all just fucking around and finding out, aren't we?
Yeah, I suppose, I suppose some of us are a bit scared too.
And we're talking.
That's another thing, I suppose. Yeah,
we were talking the other morning about like storytelling and elders and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and passing down of information and
culture.
Yeah.
Everything's such a big thing. Refer back to culture. Like this weekend, we got really, really important sort of cultural event. It's a footy game, so great to be part of. Great for you to learn. So it's always good like that. But yeah, it's we deviated a bit from what I asked. But why was it hard for you? Why was it hard for you to break the stigma of what life or how you should be? Was it because
or what other people
was
think
it
I should
because
be
of
doing?
like you overthought about a lot of things, or you would take too much of everyone's information in and not be able to decipher what you actually what you should be taking or what you shouldn't, or
Yeah, I guess I just didn't want to disappoint. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to disappoint people or.
But the only person that you need to worry about is you and your kids.
Yeah.
They're the only ones. If you're happy, then they're happy, I suppose. Hey.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I've done. I've made a decision and I'm backing myself, and yeah.
Would you say you gained a lot of independence, or a lot of, I like to call it a lot of backbone.
There's definitely growth there. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So many things that we go through in our lives that people don't grow from. They just, if anything, they become timid. Like I like to think about my life. If I had not kept going from the shit that happened, then I'd highly doubt that I would be here, to be honest. And as long as you keep growing and learning from them things, and life's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a couple, thing that we've been saying a lot lately is, today's a good day. And today is always a good day if you're waking up and, you're healthy and you have a family. It doesn't matter about things that happened in the past, as long as, you keep looking forwards.
I was thinking about the growth thing earlier today. I think having that conversation at the dinner table last night with my eldest daughter about, couple dynamics, and, there's...
polarities and...
Yeah, there's kind of different, people that like to lean into each other, and there's people that need their own space and all that sort of stuff. But I think at the end of the day, both parties need to be, committed to growth.
Yeah, and committed to be there through growth.
Yeah.
Because, growth isn't comfortable most of the time.
Yeah. And
we're talking about that very, very... we have talked about it a lot, actually, is that when you... when times get tough and you just go through it together and no one wants to give up, I always think of it as in a team dynamic, which a relationship is a team. Is that when it's hard and everyone digs in together, it becomes easy and you grow from it.
Yeah, and that was kind of the rabbit hole that I went down, is because I think we spoke about this earlier today, to choose someone and to choose to love someone, it is an active choice that you make every day, and to commit yourself to that relationship and choose to work on that relationship and not just give up when times get tough. And, I think...
Actually, it's funny that sort of like listening to you say that, because I sort of think back today, even this morning at the gym, when, I always like to think, and, when I'm training people, sort of training...
When I was having a sook this morning.
It's funny you say that, because, if you give yourself an end, your brain automatically takes you to the end. And once you get there, right, I'm done. Whereas if you're forever, like, or I can do more, or I can... Or don't think about it.
As in, like, if you say I'm only going to do 10 reps, you start failing at 9 because you know you only have to do 10.
You only get to 10.
If you don't put a deadline on it.
I always think about, and that's, I think, it's a lot to do with life like that, is that if we limit ourselves to, all right, this is where we're going to be by this age, then it sets us up, if we don't get there, to fail. Because, or to fail in our minds.
Yeah, I think that goes back to what we were saying about, like, societal conditioning. I had a really hard time when I turned 30 because I had this idea in my head.
That was a long time ago.
I'm off it. Of what my life should look like by 30.
Yeah.
And it wasn't it at all.
Yeah.
And that really messed with my brain a little bit. I had a real hard time turning 30, but now that I have sort of rewritten the narrative in my head, and, like, I don't have to follow these rules. There aren't actually any rules.
They're not rules. They're
my life can look however I want it to.
As long as you are happy.
Yeah. Now that I'm getting closer to 40, I'm far more accepting and more at peace with myself. And I don't have any ideas in my head of what my life should look like at 40, and I think that's kind of liberating and makes it easier to...
Yeah, it is. It makes life a lot easier.
I mean, there's still a long way to 40. Like...
Yeah. I'll look forward to when you get to near 40 or a bit over, because we'll get the parks close to the door of the shopping centre. I better wheel you out. No, but yeah. So like I sort of pull us back on track, is that a lot podcast and sort of learn about Ash as well, because your relationship is has two people in it.
Yeah. And it's always been in me interrogating you, and we come from two completely different walks of life.
Yeah, definitely. I always say Ash is the good person on my shoulder. Like, if I'm going to go do something silly, I'm like, I'm going to do it. Like, it's just me.
How about Melbourne Cup Day? My horse.
Goody Two Shoes.
Oh, Goody Two Shoes, yeah.
Yeah, second, hey?
Yeah, put a bet on Goody Two Shoes because I thought it was fitting.
Yeah, very. Yeah. And then Ash is the other on the shoulder, like, maybe you shouldn't, or we shouldn't do that. And
Voice of reason.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's like a battle in my own head of what's the right thing to do. But
at the same time, you teach me to just lighten up a little bit.
Yeah, enjoy life.
Yeah.
Enjoy it because, life is very, very short.
Yeah, you can bend the rules a little bit.
Yeah, there's no rules in life. There's no rules. There's rules that you limit yourself to, but it's obviously the law, and as I found out. But yeah, I think this sort of podcast that, like how we end this one today, is that it's a little bit of a lesson that the choices you make when you're younger. A lot of people are glorifying crime and making wrong choices. And seeing making money and. I'll talk about that later because I've done a lot of that.
But yeah, today we just wanted people to kind of get to know us.
Us, and that we're parents, that we're normal people. We go to work.
Yep.
Some of us go all day. Some of us got clients till 3, but knock off at 1. But it's equal at home because we're the same. We're the same, and we enjoy each other's company as much as each other. And the next podcast we sort of come to, I think we're going to go back on track with where I ended up.
Message.
Yeah,
this is
where I ended up.
Essentially, what the podcast is about.
Because where I ended up after my teenage years was in a very, very bad place. So. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was kind of good to talk about us today. I've noticed that there has been a lot of people from our social circles that are investigating what's going on.
Yeah. Super stalking.
Yeah. We see you.
Yeah. But yeah, keep doing it because it gets the algorithm out there. And,
that pushes it out into the algorithm, which is what we want.
Yeah.
And long term, we've discussed inviting people on here to talk about their stories and talk about topics.
There's a couple of people that will come on here that will, especially one person that's going to probably blow the Queensland government. It's going to be very, very
controversial.
Yeah, for the Queensland government, Queensland Corrector Services. And we've already had a bit of drama with Google.
Oh yes.
We've had a bit of drama with Google, but we've overcome that. So if you ever see us don't post any videos for a bit.
We haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah, we haven't gone anywhere. We're still here. We're still doing what we do, but Google's just very...
We've learned that we have to watch...
what we say.
Yeah, some trigger words.
And
also how we log on to different devices.
Yeah, to upload our stuff.
Yeah, the system doesn't like too many.
But yeah, my... I just want to probably finish this with just saying to everyone that, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We both do really, really appreciate it. Especially me, because my story, you don't have to listen to my story, but... the people who have, there's lads that I've known since I was a little kid reaching out to me, and thank you for the people that, put me through what I went through because, I'm happy. It's, like I said, it's all love. So, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be who you are now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be who I am. And, I hope that in another life you find it in your heart that you're a good person because in this one you aren't. So yeah, but yeah.
Yep.
Finish off that today.
Yep.
Talk soon.
Love you.
Love you too.